talk about that?
Well, the Art of Living Black, I heard about it about maybe 7 years ago. I came to the Richmond Art Center, went to one of the exhibitions, and I was a friend of Arthur Wright, and he told me about it, and I came to, see his work and got to see everybody else. I moved to Richmond about 6 years ago, and I kept getting information about the Art of Living Black, but I never participated because I was always busy with my 9-to-5 job. Then my sister-in-law called me last year and asked me if I knew Ray Hayward. And I told her that I heard about her, but, I never met her personally. And she was telling me that she was married to her cousin. And she was telling me that she was one of the founders of the Art of Living Black, and that I should contact her and, get some information. So I did contact Ray Hayward, but she didn't get back to me right away. My sister-in-law came to visit in San Francisco, and she took me over to Ray Hayward's house to meet her. And then I got a call about, I guess, a month later, and Ray Hayward was saying, I just saw, it was something that I sent her, an invitation to my art show or something. And she said, I had it in a pile of papers, but I just got this, and I'm sorry that I couldn't come. And, we talked, and then I reminded her that I was her husband's cousin's sister-in-law. Anyway, so that's the way that we got acquainted. And she kept encouraging me and saying that she was really glad that I was going to be involved in the show, in the exhibit. And then I went and dropped off my artwork, and like everyone else said, the being among the other artists that were there and just in a casual situation, being able to talk to everyone was, very exciting and inspiring. Then I was also involved in the artist talks, and that was also very inspiring. Well, the artists were sitting on one side of the room, and the guests were sitting on the other side of the room, and they asked us questions, and we also talked about specific subjects. One of the subjects was commercial art versus fine art, marketing your art, just different subjects. Yes, we walked around, and as we got to each of our pieces, we talked about the inspiration for each piece. It was exciting, but it was even more so exciting hearing what other artists had to say about their pieces, because, a lot of times when you look at a piece of artwork, you get a different message than what the artist had intended. And the piece that I had in there was entitled Reconnected. And the inspiration for that piece was, after all the difficulties and challenges that you go through in life, that you have to sometimes sit back and be still and be reconnected to your inner self or God, and just listen to that inner voice. Yeah, that was the piece that was
this year,
at the Richmond Art Center this year. This is my first time
This
exhibiting.
is your first time
Yes,
exhibiting?
yes.
Oh,
I've come to see the exhibitions, but I had never participated. So this is the first time participating.
How did you feel about that being?
Well, I felt one thing I like about the exhibit is that it doesn't just end at the Richmond Art Center, that it continues. You can exhibit at the Richmond Auditorium, and then you have the artist talks, and then you have people visiting your studios, so it was just a series of experiences with different artists and the public. The most inspiring aspect was communicating and interacting with other artists, and seeing what they're creating and seeing how they market their artwork, and receiving energy and creativity from the other artists as well. The most outstanding? Well, I can't pinpoint one specific piece because there were several artists that I saw, the way that they were marketing their pieces or the way they reproduced their artwork, that just made me go, And for instance, one was Monica Stewart. Now, her exhibit was so massive, because the paintings were so huge. And also, I've seen a lot of her work in print, but I had never seen it in person. Yeah, she was at the Richmond Convention Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was at that
So you're talking about that
exhibit as well. Yeah, Shantae. Yeah, I was impressed by her. She did some calendars, and I liked the way she did the calendars. I thought that was very clever and Truckee. His theme of his daughter, very straight and to the point, and it's just something that you don't have to really struggle over. Okay, what am I going to paint next? Where's my inspiration going to come from? I think I was really inspired by those who had a theme and just went with it. Because with me, my ideas are usually seasonal. It's, for instance, I did a series of paintings when I lived in New York, and I tried to illustrate the summers there in New York. And then after that was finished, I had to think of another series. So I did another series of Italy. When I visited Italy, I did paintings of that. And when I was very involved in my church, there was a series of a spiritual adventure that I was on.
So it's